everyone, and welcome to Kendal on Hudson's what we call Senior Living 101. So it's a very basic introduction of what is a CCRC, what is unique to Kendal on Hudson. And I know that there's going to be quite a few people attending today, and there's going to be a lot of different expectations. So if we could just focus on understanding that this is not a personal presentation, this is a group. We're going to speak in generalities, and I hope to inspire you with what is found here is at Kendal. But for the moment, just listen, sit back, relax, see what is most important to you. And when we get to meet each other in person, we can then start to talk about those things. As the seminar or the webinar progresses, there's a little area on the bottom of your screen where you can raise your hand or you can ask a question. It's going to take a little bit to get through it, so you don't have to worry about rushing in questions, and we will at the very end open up your mic so that you can answer them, each one at a time. And we'll do our best to get to everybody. So let's get started. What is Kendal on Hudson? Well, Kendal on Hudson is a licensed continuing care retirement community, or something better known as today as a life plan community, with the New York State Department of Health and the New York State Department of Finance. And technically, there are 14 CCRCs in New York State having a certificate of authority from the Commissioner of Health. That means that we follow strict regulations and guidelines according to the Department of Health. There's only 14 of these types of communities in New York State, and there are 2,000 nationwide. So why does New York State have so few? Well, it is due to the regulations. Quite frankly, I don't think regulations are all that bad, because they're there to protect you, the consumer. How it happens is, there's a problem, make a regulation. There's a problem, make a regulation, right? That's basically how it goes. But New York State has a knack of doing that quite often. But there's many things in there that protect you, and there's this extra set of eyes on us, how we operate. Because you have a significant investment in a CCRC when you decide to do that. And you have to know that that particular community is going to be open for at least another 20 years after you move in. And you need to understand how it's been operating. And those are things that we're going to talk about. So there's 14 in New York State. There's 3 in Westchester County that are licensed, and there's 2 levels. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say there's 2 levels. There's 3 different types of contracts that we offer that separate one from the other. So Kendal uniquely offers type A contracts. That makes us a true life care CCRC. And that means when you move in, there's, and we're going to talk about this on another slide, there's an entrance fee, but then you pay a monthly fee. Your entrance fee, you pay once and you're done. Your monthly fee, you pay month to month to month, and that's throughout the whole time you're here at Kendal. Those monthly fees do go up annually. And whatever your monthly fee is, when you are at a time that you need either assisted living or nursing home care, it is that fee that you will pay for that different level of care. So this gives you predictable costs. Now, you may ask, well, if we're a type A contract community, what are the others? Well, there's type B contracts and type C. So the type C contract is called a fee for service, which means if you need assisted living or nursing home care, you will pay whatever the prevailing rates are. So your fees will go up. And I have to tell you that here at Kendal, if you were to come directly into skilled nursing, which is not a high probability, it's over $22,000 a month. And that is not what you would be paying to live here in your apartment. So you have predictable costs when you have a type A contract. So we talked about type A, we talked about type C. So what is a type B? A type B is a hybrid of the two. So for a certain period of time, you will have predictable costs and then it will go to prevailing rates. Now, communities can offer all different contract types when they are licensed through New York State. You can have type A, type B, and type C contracts. Here at Kendal, we happen to offer simply one contract, which is a type A. And as we go through today's presentation, I'm going to focus on what I think are the three most important matters that you need to feel comfortable with in order to keep our relationship building. One is our finances, the second is the culture, and the third is what is the healthcare going to be if and when that happens. And there's certain things that are available to you to view to understand how do we meet the top standards for those three most important characteristics. Well, financially, we are rated by a company, for lack of a better word to say it, called Fitch. And Fitch rates healthcare agencies. It rates it on our financial outlook and projection. We are rated a triple B plus, which puts us in the top 6% in the country, not the state, in the whole country. First, it's hard to get rated by them. Not every CCRC can be eligible for a rating. And having a triple B plus is really close to the top of the ring. And we're starting to work on getting our triple A minus. It's a very lengthy process. It's a very detailed process. And we are very, very proud of that rating. Now, some people might be familiar with other ratings that are out there. I would say that Fitch is probably has the best credibility. When it comes to our nursing home, how are we rated there? Well, we have a 5-star rating for many, many years, and you can look that up on the net, on the website under Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, and that will rate all sorts of nursing homes for you. And the other thing is U.S. News and World Report just had us listed as a 5-star top nursing home, one of the top 5 in Westchester County. A thing that's important is we've been open since 2005, so we have a track record. I love the one thing my daughter taught me was she said, "Mom, don't ever buy first generation anything. Wait till the second one's around." And you know what? She made a lot of sense. Kind of wait for the kinks to go out, see how it works, and then go ahead and dive in. So we have 17 years of getting through the kinks, and they've been pretty good. With high occupancy, we're at 96% occupancy. We've had high occupancy throughout. And a really important financial indicator is that we have over 900 days of cash on hand. That means if we had no income for the next 900 days, we would be able to pay all of our bills. And that's we have our reserve funds are fully funded. The cash on hand that we have is in the tune of somewhere like $68 million. So as we go through the presentation today, These are things that we're going to build on. We're going to build on our financial stability, on the culture of Kendal, and the high quality of healthcare that's here. So a little more about life care, because that truly is what separates Kendal from the Osborne, from the Knowles, from the Broadmoor that's being opened that is not a licensed CCRC. And I'm not saying that any one of those communities are good or not good. I'm simply comparing the license offering that we have. So when you have a life care type A contract, it does something for you that is unique. One, many people will go and set up a Medicaid trust or a revocable trust, right? And that's to protect your assets against the predatory rates of long-term care. Well, at Kendal, you don't need that because your assets are already protected, because you know what you will pay for long-term care if and when you need it. That's predictable costs. And any financial advisor would jump up and down and holler, yippee, to know that, because you can ask me, Lois, do I have enough money for my retirement? And I can tell you. So all of your long-term care is covered here. If you have long-term care insurance, it's okay. And but you don't need long-term care insurance to come to Kendal. You are covered. The other part is this, folks, is peace of mind. You know, I kind of relate retirement planning to a toothache. We know we have to go to the dentist, but we don't like it, right? And then all of a sudden you get a toothache and it's like, oh my, I should have gone to the dentist, right? Well, that's kind of what planning for retirement is. We tend to wait to the oh my. And folks, you have to make plans when you can, not when you have to, because somebody else will be making those plans for you. So owning a life care contract is a plan. It's your plan that you have to protect you and your family. So what are your choices out there today? So what can you do? You can stay at home, what they call aging in place. I know everybody here in this chat today wants to live with their children. I know I want to live with mine because they tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing. Maybe you want to downsize to a smaller home, take a first step, or go to a CCRC. So there are more and more choices out there that are making it so difficult to try to figure out, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? So let's try to look at it in a little simpler. You can move to an independent living rental community where you may get a meal a day. You might have some activities, but it's just a rental with an apartment and that's it. You might go to a 55+ living community that has a rec room, and it's for a place for retired folks, not for families. So that's a choice. That's month to month. You can stay at home and age in place. And that's the big hype today. Is it a bad plan? No. But as much as you need a plan to move to Kendal, you need a plan to stay at home too. So are your bedrooms upstairs? Do you need a way to get up and down those stairs? Are you going to need people to come in for housekeeping, for cooking? Are you going to need people for transportation? Are you going to need people for outdoor maintenance of your property and for general maintenance of your property? Are you going to need people for your self-care? And then when your care needs increase, what level of professional do you need? Are those people going to show up when they're supposed to show up? What are the costs? Quite frankly, they're pretty high. You could be looking at paying thousands of dollars a year for a home health aide. And if you have long-term care insurance, that is a benefit, but I think some of those plans have a restriction on how many years that they would pay for that until you would need to then move to an assisted living or skilled nursing or nursing home. We call them both, if you need it. Living with your children. Listen, I was, kidding around with you before. I adore my children and they adore me. I really don't want to live with them, but if I were to, can their home accommodate me? And can it accommodate me as my need changes? And how much, am I going to expect from them? Downsizing to a smaller home, well, that has to do with going to that apartment, maybe that condo, but that's not a one-time move. As aging continues, you just might need another move. And then coming to Kendal really is I'm going to say this again, a once and done plan. Your whole plan is set for you, regardless of what happens. And if you should need long-term care, you can just pull out your contract and blow the dust off of it and say, look, here's my plan. Maybe you had a fall, maybe you had a knee replacement or other surgery, and you need subacute rehab. Well, what happens is you're in the hospital, they take care of immediately what they need to, and you might have acute therapy, and then you need subacute physical therapy or occupational therapy. And we have an excellent program for that here. So if that happened, you would just say to your social worker in the hospital, oh, hey, I'm a resident of Kendal, and that plan is made for you. If you don't have that plan, the social worker will come out with a list of nursing homes. Who knows where they are? Who do you have to share the room with? Who has availability? It's crisis management. Here, there is no crisis management, and that's a big difference. So again, to review, when you have a life care plan, you have asset protection, you have coverage for long-term care, you have predictable costs, peace of mind, a wonderful lifestyle that we're going to start to talk about. And what piece we didn't talk about was the tax advantages, and those are super cool. So a part of your entrance fee is 100% tax deductible on your federal income tax. And every year there is a portion of your monthly fees that are tax deductible, both for the first and second person in the room. For a couple last year, it was about $30,000. Now, to be eligible for that tax advantage, you do have to itemize on your taxes. It's considered prepaid medical, and you really need to work with your tax advisor. We give a letter to our residents every year by January 31st to show them exactly the codes that creates this eligibility and the amounts that they can deduct. You give that to your tax preparer and you're all set to go. We also have phenomenal wellness programs that we're going to talk about. And your apartment is maintenance free. Leaky faucet, a little chip on the countertop, whatever. We're here to take care of that. And again, as we said, we have quality health care. So what is that phenomenal lifestyle like? Well, when you are part of independent living, there's a meal a day in the dining room, and it's wonderful. And I have to tell you that on long days in the office, I go and I purchase for myself dinner to take home. It's terrific. There's soups and salads, and we have a bistro that offers lunch and breakfast that you can buy. And the food services here are not outsourced. We do all of our cooking here on premises, and we try to do as much local farm purchases as we can. We have a phenomenal swimming pool and gym. We have a state-of-the-art gym equipment. It's called Techno Gym, and it's an AI type of equipment. When you come to Kendal, you get a physical assessment, and there is a program devised for you. What type of exercises should you be doing? They do a balance assessment. It's really extensive, and everything gets programmed into something that looks like a wristwatch. And when you hover that wristwatch over the screen on the equipment, the exercise equipment, all of a sudden it just goes by itself and moves into your settings. And it will tell you, oh, you haven't been here in a while. Or it says, oh, you're doing great. You're showing up every day. And then it'll either suggest that you increase your program or decrease your program. But what's even better is our fitness center, our gym, is fully staffed with fitness trainers. So you are never left in there alone to try to figure anything out. Your wellness is what is first in our mind here at Kendal. At the pool, there are 2 water aerobics classes every week. There's lap swimming. The pool is 50 feet long. And it really serves quite a few of our residents. Now, as far as the culture of Kendal, the activities here are resident initiated, which means we do not have an activities director. There is no one here that's saying you do this at 9, you do this at 10, and not your decisions. The residents here do what they want when they want. And that is another part that creates a uniqueness here at Kendal. There are 29 different programs that happen here. The educational program is superb. Every month, except for August and December, there are top educational seminars presented by professors and leaders in the field of whatever they're presenting, from literature to music to theater, and they come in series, so you'll have them for a 3 and 5 week session. We have a chorus here that is simply wonderful. We have a bell ringing group, and I don't mean like little ding ding bells. I mean like really super duper bells that are fabulous. We have an art committee, we have book clubs committee, we have a gardening committee, we have a trips committee, we have a party committee. I mean, it just goes on and on. There's 29 of them in total. We offer transportation services. You want to go to the bank, you want to go to the post office, we will take you. You want to go to the doctor within a 15-mile radius, we will offer door-to-door transportation. We have 2 buses, 2 cars, several drivers. We take the bus with residents to grocery shopping once a week. We go to regular shopping once a week. So if you don't have a car, don't worry about it. We have about 30% of our residents live here are from Manhattan, and many of them don't come with a car. And how do you get around? Well, that's how you get around. We help that happen. Maintenance is phenomenal. You put in a maintenance request, and in short time thereafter, somebody is there to take care of it. And it might not be because something is broken. Maybe you bought some shelves and you want to hang some extra shelves somewhere. Maybe you bought new drapes and you want your drapes hung. You know, you can get maintenance to do that. There is a charge for things like that. But if it's something that we are there to repair, there is no charge. 24-hour security. We have our desk is covered our front desk is covered 24 hours a day. All of our exterior doors are locked to the outside. If The only way you can gain access is with a fob that is provided to residents only. We have housekeeping services every other week: vacuum, dusting, washing the floors, changing your linen. And then on the off week, because your housekeeping's every other week, on the off week, they'll come in and change your linen. There's a 24-hour emergency response. So we provide you with a bracelet or a necklace that if you're uncomfortable, you can push the button and someone will come to your apartment or wherever you are immediately. That device will cover you even outdoors. It's not going to cover you if you get in the car and leave, but it'll cover you in the immediate proximity. It'll cover you throughout the building. And the person that responds to that would be someone from facilities, and it would be a nurse. We have a resident care center, which is a wonderful resource center with a resource nurse. There's also a nurse practitioner, which is unusual for a community our size. Usually you find them in places that are a lot bigger. But we have a nurse practitioner that you could see. We also have a primary care physician, a podiatrist, an audiologist, and you can see them there. They have some part-time hours. And that primary care physician is really great for when people move here from California and Oregon and Mexico, because we have people coming here from all over the world, as a matter of fact. And it's a great place to start. So then you can start your base of your favorite doctors. So you just give your insurance card to see the nurse practitioner or the doctors, but they are right here. And if you have the need for like blood draws, weekly blood draws or regular blood draws because you're on certain medications, we do that right here too. So you know what, just come down with your jammies, put on your robe, and then you can go back to your apartment. It's all done. 1, 2, 3, simple. So here's the fee structure. As I said before, we have the life care component of the entrance fee. That's the insurance part. We have the residential component, and that's the entrance fee. Okay, so you have your entrance fee, your life care fee, and the blue and the green, you pay one time and done. The pink area, the monthly fee, is what you pay month to month. Now, here's something really important. And I want everybody to wake up and listen, because I've been talking for a while. So you've got to grasp this. The life care component of the entrance fee is considered an insurance product. So besides Kendal being licensed by the New York State Department of Health, we are also licensed by the Department of Finance because we have type A contracts. Other communities that do not have type A contracts do not need to be licensed because they're not selling insurance. Our entrance fee is considered an insurance product. So what does that do? That creates your medical approval process to be like an underwriting process if you were to buy life insurance, health insurance, any kind of that insurance. So we have strict guidelines of who is medically approved. The worst part of my day is when I have to tell somebody who's had their heart set on moving to Kendal for a long time and finds out that they are not qualified because of mild cognitive impairment, because of mild or early stages of Parkinson's. It doesn't matter if it's mild or early. It is what it is. You have it or you don't. So it's important to become a resident of Kendal before you are in that position to be denied. And how do you know that? We don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you on such and such a day, this is when you need to move in. This is something part of your planning. When you know that Kendal is the right part for you, do it. Get on the wait list, and when apartments become available, come and look at them and make it a point to say, I'm going to protect my future. This is not an old age home. This is a vibrant, lively community, but it is a step for your retirement. And people have gotten on the wait list, or they just say, I'm not ready yet. That's a big thing I hear. I'm not ready yet. But when you're ready, because you just got a bad diagnosis from your doctor, Kendal will not approve you. So there is this balance here that you have to arrive at. And we are extremely transparent about this. And the reason about this is because more and more people are living to age 100. It's the fastest growing population. And 70% of people over age 65 will need long-term care at some time in their life. So at Kendal, we have 222 independent living apartments, and we have 60 apartments divided between assisted living, memory care, and the nursing home to care for folks that are moving through the continuum. But if people move to the continuum and now are living to age 100, all right, they're still in the continuum. What happens if Kendal starts approving people that undoubtedly are going to need long-term care? It will be a bottleneck. When you come to Kendal, we have to know that we can care for you and that you are going to have the space when you need it, when that time comes. And we have to be responsible. And these are awfully tough decisions. Sometimes it's and very hard to deliver, but I can't stress it more of the importance of being medically qualified and when you do this. And now I'll go back to cheery, happy Lois. So we have two kinds of contracts. We have a non-refundable, or called a declining contract, or a 50% refundable contract. They're both type A, and they both serve you well, regardless of which one you choose. So let's talk about the non-refundable contract. This contract, for the first 50 months, or let's call it 4 years, has a refund component to you if you should leave or if you should pass away. So what is the amount that is refunded to you? Well, it's calculated by looking at your initial payment. So let's say you paid $100 and you left after 1 year. You said, well, you know what? I moved here to be near my kids, but my kids now decided they're moving to Texas, so I'm going to move there to another CCRC. So you've been here a year. Well, how much do you get back? Your refund would be calculated by deducting 2% a month every month that you were here. So if you were here 12 months, it would be a 24% deduction. So let's round it to 25, right? So you would get, of your $100, you would get $75 back. But what happened if in year 5 you said you were moving? This contract would not offer you a refund, because by that time it has declined to a zero balance. The other option is a 50% refundable contract. That means no matter what, for the rest of your life, the entrance fee component is 50% refundable to you or to your estate. So there's reasons why both of these have advantages. Now, on the 50% refundable, what happens is it will decline the same way as the non-refundable, but when it gets to 50%, it puts on the brakes and it stays there for life. So if you left after year 1, you would get back more than 50%. But if you left at year 5, you would definitely get back 50% of the entrance fee. And let's keep in mind that the entrance fee is separate from the life care fee. So the life care fee would work like the non-refundable, but the entrance fee is 50%. There are some key features of both. the 50% refundable contract, the entrance fee is higher and your monthly fee is higher. So what happens is, folks, remember that your monthly fee goes up every month. So if you have a 3% raise of $100 or a 3% raise of $125, the $125 is going to go up. And then the next year, it's going to go up another, let's say 3%. So your monthly fee for your 50% refundable contract is going to keep increasing at a quicker rate than the non-refundable. If you have great monthly income and you don't have to spend down from major assets, the 50% refundable is the way to go. If you're younger, the non-refundable contract and the 50% refundable contract will level out to almost be equivalent from an asset perspective between 10 and 12 years. So regardless of which one you bought, once you're living here 10 to 12 years, they're going to come out to virtually the same. So you have to look at the costs, your age, you have to look at the monthly fees, all of those things. You talk to your financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to give you that advice, but I'm going to give you areas to look at. Because a lot of people just look, oh, 50% refundable. Oh, for heaven's sakes, of course I'm going to take that. Well, no, maybe sometimes it isn't always the best one. So those are things, those are different points. And we talk about that more in depth when we get to see each other. So now what happens if you have long-term care insurance? It's fine. It's good. It's good to take a look at it because policies differ greatly from one to the other. Some people have bought them a long time ago and the premiums are not very much at all. And you don't get your coverage from long-term care is not going to meet your costs. That was a big thing that the big boo-boo that the actuaries did. They didn't count on people living as long as they're living. So, you know, some of these long-term care insurance policies are trying to buy people out. They're increasing their premiums, whatever. And other ones, they're just holding it, which is good. So if you have long-term care insurance, if you need a little extra help in independent living with hiring an aide, it's most likely that your policy will cover that. Now, what do we mean by, you know, having that service in an independent living apartment? Well, for a lot of people that are single, sometimes you just need what I call a little tweaking. Maybe you just need somebody to help with lunch. Maybe you need somebody just to set out your medications. You know to take them. You don't have dementia, but you just need that little help. You need somebody to handle your groceries for you. Those kinds of things. You could certainly hire an aide to do that in your independent living apartment. But when it comes to a time when you need the care, that 24-hour care, that is the time you need to seriously consider the other levels of living, like assisted living, memory care, and the nursing home. The other thing is, when you do make that transition, we will help you with supporting documents for you to file a claim to your long-term care insurance company. And that check goes to you. Kendal wants nothing to do with it. We're going to continue to bill you month to month for your monthly fee, and whatever money you're getting from your claim, that goes to you. Now, what if you don't have long-term care insurance? You're fine, because you know what you're going to be paying for your long-term care. We've already figured it out. We've already told you what your qualifications are. So there's no worry. So either way, it works. we have something called the financial calculator, and I love this. It is a special software program that we do over Zoom. If you should have any concern, are you qualified financially for Kendal on Hudson? I will send you a form that shows what information we need about your monthly income and your assets. And we plug it into this software program. We plug in your age, we plug in the type of apartment you want, and we can do it for the non-refundable contract and the 50% refundable contract. And we can show you how far your money is going to go for 10, 20, 30, whatever years you want to do. And this is kind of what it looks like. So of course, this is not a real person, but we plugged in assets, we plugged in expenses, and actually over time, this person had good monthly assets. We did a 22-year view, and this was the, this green part is the refundable part, see, 4 years. So up to here, this is what was refundable, and it ended there, but their other assets continued to grow because they didn't have to spend down. So they also, at this area here, expenses went down because they had long-term care insurance and they were getting direct checks from their long-term care company. But we plug this in, and it also calculates the cost of your apartment and the fact that it goes up, the maintenance fee goes up every year. So it plugs in what the return on your investments are, plus the expenses and what the increases are here. And it gives you a beautiful picture, and you can compare. So here we compared the refundable with the declining. So the declining is red and the refundable is blue. So look what happened. The red, the declining was worth more at 22 years than the refundable in the big picture of your asset pool. So that's what I was saying, why you really need to look at these, and we can do this and do a comparison. It's really a wonderful tool. So how do you get to Kendal? Well, it's easy. The first thing is get on the wait list. We're at 96% occupancy. You're not going to be able to walk in and get an apartment. It happens. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but it's rare. So you want to get on the wait list. And when you're on the, when you apply for the wait list, you put down what your first and second preference is. And then we put everybody on the wait list according to their preferences. The longest wait list is for 1 bedroom and a den. So that's the longest one you have to wait for. The cost is $2,000, whether you're single or a couple, it's $2,000. It goes into an interest-bearing escrow account. So if you ever want to opt out of the wait list, you will get your $2,000 back plus interest. There's also a $250 application fee that's not refundable. So that's step one. You want to be on the wait list because when an apartment becomes available, we pick up the phone and we say, hi, Joe, hi, Mary, we've got this apartment. Do you want to see it? And you could say, no, I'm not ready yet. You know, that phrase I don't like, but no, I'm not ready yet. And we'll say, okay, you don't lose your spot where you are. So you come in and you make your apartments, you get on the wait list, you get called, you come in and like, oh my God, I love this apartment. I want this. Okay, you select it. Then you do your medical and financial application. The medical application is 2 parts. One, it's a self-assessment that you do, and the other comes from your physician that must include your most recent physical and the notes from the physical. Then you come in and you see our nurse, And she does an evaluation to include a cognitive test. You also have a financial application, and we run that through an actuarial program to ensure that you will have enough assets to live here throughout your lifetime. Note that in every contract, you get guaranteed lifetime residency. So if you should outlive your money, you never have to leave Kendal. We will pay your monthly fee for you. But because of that, we are stewards of people's money here because we are a not-for-profit. We don't spend money foolishly, and we're very careful that money is handled responsibly. So we make sure that people that are moving here can live here. But my advice is when you move in, we don't go to Vegas and have that big party, okay? We keep our assets where they are because we will cover you as long as you're, if you ran out of funds, it was no fault of your own. So then once you're medically and financially approved, we go ahead and sign your contract and you leave a 10% deposit of your entrance fee. And this is where life care begins. Even though you're not living here, if during the process that you're getting ready to move in, something happens, God forbid, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, had a stroke, need rehab, need this, you've got it, you are covered. And once you sign your contract, we are going to fully renovate your apartment. We have wonderful standards, quartz countertops, walk-in showers, luxury laminate flooring, great stainless steel appliances. I mean, the apartments are beautiful. And the balance is paid anywhere from 30 to 60 days after you sign the contract, and then you move in. So here we go, folks. Finance, culture, and care. Finance, we're very stable. Culture is one that has an undertone of Quaker values. Kendal was the very first Kendal was opened by a Quaker group. This is something that we take seriously. You do not have to be Quaker to live here. We are very, very religiously diverse, but it is the way we treat one another. We treat each other as a community, as support. We're here to help one another, and we always try to reach agreement by consensus. The culture is highly, highly educational. There is a strong request for continuing education. We have an outstanding library. You'll see that the educational components here are quite strong. And also the Residents Association is a very strong association. They have elections, they have committees. There's a lot you can get involved in. And then the care, every level of living is all private rooms, private apartments, private bathrooms. Assisted living has 2 levels. It has assisted living and enhanced living, which means you can stay in assisted living and receive a higher level of care without having to move out of assisted living, with us being able to do a 1-person transfer if you need transfer from a wheelchair, with certain medications, wound care. We can do all of that in our assisted living without you having to transfer that quickly to skilled nursing or the nursing home. We have a secure memory care unit, and this is for advanced dementia. This is for people that wander or have severe effects of sundowning. They can't voluntarily leave the community. It has its own little park area where they can sit outside and enjoy the outdoor weather, and then indoors they have very, very centered care. Whereas I'm going to go back to assisted living. I call it assisted living without walls because you're there for a social model. You're there because you need help with bathing, dressing, medication management, but you can still go to a lecture. You can still go to the gym. I mean, you're there for different reasons. You can go to the library and you're able to do that. And all of the meals are in the main dining room for our assisted living residents. For memory care, it's in the memory care community. And in the nursing home, the dining room is in the nursing home. So look at us, folks. Look at where we are. You have the beautiful Hudson River on one side of you. On the other side, you have Rockwood Park, which is an 80-acre park with benches, places to walk your dog. We are very pet friendly here. People enjoy that. That's where you get your exercise. It's a very, very well-known park. We're a short distance, maybe 2 miles from the Terrytown train station that has a direct train to Grand Central. It's the Hudson line. 39 minutes, you're at Grand Central. So you have the best of everything. Even though we're considered the suburbs, you have that connection to New York City. So what I want to do next is show you what the residents think and a better view of Kendal.
You know, I've traveled all over the world, and no place is as beautiful as the view from my balcony. I've gone college on the Hudson. I've lived on the Hudson, and I love the Hudson. I love the park, and I spend hours and miles, and I like to walk a lot. And I love the fact that there's a gym here, and lots of wonderful people. We came here not knowing anybody, and they were just very welcoming. People will immediately start inviting you to join them for dinner, and you very quickly have a circle of friends here. Residents here have such an incredible variety of things that they can do that it really makes life very full, or you can make it as full as you'd like it. We were very impressed, particularly by the ease at which you can get to New York from here. There's a lot of opera going and museum going and things, so it was quite nice to be so close. My only complaint is that the food is too good, and there's too much ice cream, and too many tempting desserts. But otherwise, we can handle it. Here, I pick up the phone when something's broken, and an hour later, somebody comes up and fixes it. If I want physical therapy, I take the elevator down. If I want to go to an activity, I take the elevator up. I mean, it is so convenient. My car is there, everything is there. The IT person comes and fixes the computer and my phone immediately. It's so comfortable. It's so easy here. Yeah, and we're filling that time with fun things as opposed to home maintenance, meal preparation. And it's nice to be part of a community and have all of our friends right here. It is a Quaker philosophy organization, the integrity, the sincerity, the working with people. I think the Quaker values are very much of what I grew up with my own family. I think you should just come and meet the people. And then I think that will help you decide if this is the kind of place for you. If you want to be part of a community, if you want to make new friends, we come down to dinner and we say, may I join you? And everyone says, yes, of course, please join. The community will wind up, I suspect, in most cases, being some benefit that maybe will be even more important to you than you ever would have thought it was when you were looking at it from the outside.